Imagine a wrestling legend at the peak of his career, adored by millions, respected by his peers. But in just one horrifying weekend, he became infamous for one of the darkest crimes in sports history. What happened inside the Benoit household, and what led to the unimaginable tragedy? Stay with us as we unravel the chilling story of Chris Benoit, a story of triumph and trauma and ultimate. Chris Benoit was once considered one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. A technical genius in the ring, he dominated promotions like WWE, WCW, and NJPW. His accolades included winning the 2004 World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 20, and being praised as one of the top wrestlers in history by industry experts like Dave Meltzer. His fans saw him as a symbol of dedication, perseverance, and mastery of the craft. But none of those achievements matter anymore because of what he did in June 2007. Over the course of 3 days, Chris Benoit murdered his wife Nancy and their 7-year-old son, Daniel, before taking his own life. The details of the crime stunned the world, leaving fans and colleagues searching for answers. Was it years of undiagnosed brain trauma, steroid-induced rage, or was there something even darker at play? The shocking nature of the crime turned Benoit's name into something unmentionable, his legacy forever tainted by an unspeakable act of violence. The rise of a wrestling icon. Chris Benoit's wrestling career spanned over 2 decades. He was known for his relentless work ethic, unmatched technical ability, and ruthless determination. His signature move, the crippler crossface, became one of the most feared submission holds in wrestling. He earned the respect of fans and fellow wrestlers alike, becoming a symbol of what it meant to be truly dedicated to the sport. Born in Canada, Benoit fell in love with wrestling at a young age, idolizing legends like the Dynamite Kid. He trained into the infamous Hart Dungeon, a grueling wrestling school run by the legendary Stu Hart. His discipline and intensity quickly set him apart, allowing him to rise through the ranks of various wrestling promotions worldwide. By the mid-90s, he had built a reputation as one of the most technically sound wrestlers in the business, admired for his in-ring psychology and precision. Nancy Benoit, a former wrestling valet and manager, was a beloved figure in the industry long before she met Chris. She had been involved in wrestling since the late 80s, working under the name Woman. When she and Chris married in 2000, they appeared to have a happy family life. Their son Daniel was born shortly after. And to the outside world, they seemed like the perfect wrestling family. But behind the scenes, there were troubling signs. In 2003, Nancy filed for divorce, citing cruel treatment and obtaining a restraining order against Chris. She later withdrew the request, but those closest to the couple knew that their relationship was volatile. Wrestling insiders whispered about Benoit's temper, his obsessive training habits, and his growing dependence on painkillers and alcohol. Benoit's injuries were also piling up. Years of high-impact wrestling had taken a toll on his body, leading to multiple concussions, chronic pain, and a reliance on prescription medication. The pressure to maintain his status as a top wrestler, combined with personal struggles, began to weigh on him. Friends later recalled how he seemed distant, exhausted, and increasingly unpredictable in the months leading up to the tragedy. The weekend of horror. On June 22, 2007, inside their Georgia home, Chris Benoit strangled Nancy to death, wrapping her body in a towel and placing a Bible beside her. The next day, he turned to their son, Daniel. Reports suggest the child was sedated before being suffocated. Again, a Bible was left near his body, a chilling and symbolic gesture that only added to the horror of the crime. By June 24th, Benoit sent eerie text messages to colleagues, giving his home address and hinting at the horror within. When he failed to appear for scheduled WWE events, concern grew. WWE officials contacted local police for a welfare check, and on June 25th, officers entered his home. The scene they found was horrifying. Chris Benoit was discovered in his home gym, hanging from a weight machine. His life had ended in an act of self-destruction, leaving behind a mystery that would haunt the wrestling world forever. What drove Benoit to do it? The world struggled to understand why a man who had dedicated his life to wrestling could commit such unthinkable acts. Several theories emerged, each offering a glimpse into these possible demons that haunted him. 1. Severe brain damage. An autopsy of Benoit's brain revealed shocking results. Years of repeated concussions had left it in a state comparable to an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient. CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a condition linked to extreme aggression, memory loss, and impaired judgment, may have played a crucial role in his tragic downfall. 2. Steroid use. High levels of testosterone were found in Benoit's system. While some pointed to this as evidence of roid rage, others argued that long-term steroid abuse may have contributed to severe mood swings and violent tendencies. 3. Depression and personal loss. The 2005 death of his best friend, Eddie Guerrero, devastated Benoit. Friends and colleagues noticed that he was never the same afterward. Some believe this loss pushed him into a deep depression that worsened over time. 4. Alcohol and prescription. Drug abuse. Empty bottles of alcohol and prescription medication were found in the Benoit household. Reports indicate that Chris was heavily drinking in his final days, further complicating his mental state. 5. A staged crime scene? Conspiracy theories quickly emerged. Some fans and skeptics questioned whether Benoit was truly responsible, suggesting the crime scene was staged. While this theory gained traction in some circles, no concrete evidence ever supported it. The aftermath. The tragedy sent shockwaves through the wrestling industry. WWE initially paid tribute to Benoit before the full details of the crime emerged. Once they did, his name was erased from history, matches removed, accolades ignored, and any mention of him banned from WWE programming. The fallout led to major changes. WWE implemented a strict wellness policy, cracking down on steroid use and concussion-related injuries. The wrestling industry as a whole began re-evaluating its treatment of athletes, recognizing the long-term dangers of untreated brain trauma. Chris Benoit's surviving son, David Benoit, still struggles with his father's actions. In an emotional interview, he stated, "That wasn't him. He would never do that. Something went terribly wrong." To this day, the Benoit tragedy remains one of the most haunting stories in professional wrestling history. Was Chris Benoit a victim of his own damaged mind? Or was this the result of unchecked aggression, drug abuse, and psychological decline? The answers remain elusive, but one thing is certain. His story is a chilling reminder of the dark side of fame. If you found this story shocking, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the most chilling true crime cases in history.